these t-shirts that the WNBA All-Star teams wore out on the court, man. And I'm here to tell you, Kelsey Plum made it her business to take a little shot at Caitlin Clark and her team. Now, Sabrina Ionescu quit.
It all started with what was supposed to be just another All-Star game in the WNBA, a night meant for highlight reels, smiles for the cameras, and that warm, fuzzy, we're all family here vibe the league loves to sell. But instead of a harmless basketball celebration,
swiftly, and in a hurry, kind of tried to stop Kelsey Plum from taking these little shots, but she didn't care. She made it her business to say, well, you know what? No one from Team Caitlin even showed up to the meetings.
The hardwood turned into the set of a reality TV drama. Forget Housewives of Atlanta. This was Housewives of the Hardwood. And front and center, a public dig aimed straight at Caitlin Clark and her squad. Now, if you haven't heard, Kelsey Plum, yes, that Kelsey Plum, took it upon herself to sprinkle some subtle but sharp shade at Caitlin's team. And when I say subtle, I mean the kind of subtle where you shout into a microphone. Sabrina Ionescu was quick to step in, like the friend trying to stop you from sending that regrettable drunk text, but the damage was done. Kelsey had already delivered her little zinger about no one from Team Caitlin even showing up to the meetings, about the infamous All-Star shirts. Those shirts that read, "Pay us what you owe us," became the symbol of this so-called united front.
We didn't, at least as players, we didn't know that was going to happen. So I think it was kind of like a genuine surprise, but the t-shirt, just united front, was determined this morning that we had a meeting for.
But apparently, in Plum's eyes, unity had some fine print, because she made sure to tell the world that Caitlin's crew skipped the meeting. Now let's not get it twisted. This wasn't some playful, cheeky jab tossed out in the spirit of competition. This was a shot fired during a moment that was supposed to be about solidarity. Sabrina's body language said it all. Her polite but uncomfortable attempt to steer the conversation back to fun all-star vibes made it clear even she knew the comment was a grenade. And if you think Caitlin Clark hasn't noticed the frost in the air since she arrived in the league, you're kidding yourself. For months now, Caitlin has been on the receiving end of enough passive-aggressive energy to power a small city. She's been shoulder-checked, verbally clipped, told to stay in her lane, and treated like an outsider at a family reunion she somehow got invited to by accident. And now suddenly the same people who have been throwing elbows, both literally and figuratively, want a group hug for the cameras. Please. This isn't basketball summer camp, and Caitlin isn't here to sing Kumbaya around the campfire with people who were trashing her yesterday. Let's be honest.
You know, not to tattletale, but 0 members of Team Clark were very present for that. But no, we were just, we had a very,
that really needed to be mentioned.
I'm trying to make a situation.
What Kelsey Plum did was awkward, unprofessional, and a dead giveaway that certain players just can't handle the fact that the WNBA spotlight shifted the second Caitlin stepped on the court. This is what happens when the game changes faster than some people can adapt. The truth is, a chunk of this league got whiplash watching Caitlin's popularity skyrocket. Instead of putting their heads down, grinding harder, and winning back the spotlight with their play, some opted to play the role of the bitter gatekeeper. And here's the kicker, the fans see it. When 17,000 people pack into an arena, they're not there for petty drama or cryptic post-game quotes. They're there to watch Caitlin Clark drop logo threes and bend the laws of physics with her passing. You know it, I know it, the league knows it, even the haters know it. But instead of capitalizing on the Caitlin effect,
last and latest being this viral Kelsey Plum dig, if you will, and I was in the room for this. It did strike me as very odd in the moment when she said what she said. I wrote it off as kind of awkward, but so it was definitely awkward.
Too many players seem to think the way to reclaim the spotlight is by trying to dim hers. And in the process, they're making themselves look worse. Let's call it what it is, jealousy. The kind that doesn't even bother hiding anymore. And the timing couldn't be more transparent. Because it's not like the WNBA has been a financial juggernaut for decades. This league, for all its talent and history, has yet to turn a profit in its existence. The NBA has subsidized it to the tune of hundreds of millions over the years just to keep the lights on. And yet, when a generational talent comes along who actually moves the needle in ticket sales, TV ratings, and merchandise, the response from some corners isn't gratitude, it's hostility. The All-Star Game was the perfect example. Most casual fans didn't even know it was happening until a clip went viral, thanks not to the gameplay, but to the shirt drama and the message players decided to send.
To give her the benefit of the doubt, and that she was attempting to have some trash talk there. She had taken a shot at Team Caitlin Clark and how much better Team Collier was earlier in the game, and not associate that directly with Caitlin Clark. One, because of...
And the irony is, instead of uniting around their cause, they turned it into an episode of Mean Girls on the Hardwood. And let's talk about those shirts. The "Pay Us What You Owe Us" message isn't just a slogan. It's tied to the ongoing CBA negotiations, a debate over how to increase player salaries in a league that's never made money. And here's where it gets messy. Kelsey, Plum, and others are out here talking unity while throwing a very public jab at the player most responsible for filling those seats. That's not unity. That's sabotage with a side of self-sabotage. Because whether some want to admit it or not, Caitlin Clark is the reason this All-Star Game even sniffed a sellout. Without her, you're lucky if your cousin's friend from work shows up to watch. And it's not just about her being popular, it's about her being a legitimate draw. She moves tickets. She
was last night, and the only reason that some people knew, it's not because they watched, it's not because they tuned in and actually watched the game. It's because they went viral yesterday for the message that they decided to send to everybody. A league that has been around.
The fallout from Kelsey Plum's unnecessary dig didn't just linger, it ignited. Social media lit up like Times Square at midnight, with fans dissecting every frame of that awkward exchange, every twitch of Sabrina Ionescu's face, every inflection in Kelsey's voice. And the consensus was clear. That wasn't just friendly ribbing. That was a thinly veiled, well-placed elbow to Caitlin Clark's public image. And it's telling that it came wrapped in the guise of unity. Let's not pretend the "Pay Us What You Owe Us" shirts weren't a calculated message. They were meant to rally the league, to present a united front to the public and to the suits holding the purse strings. But in the same breath that unity was declared, it was undercut by one player calling out another for not being in the room when the decision was made. You can dress it up as honesty or playful banter, but when you single out the league's biggest draw during a CBA messaging moment, it reads as petty at best, sabotage at worst.
For 30 years at this point, a league that has never ever turned a profit, a league that has lost the NBA, who subsidizes them, hundreds of millions of dollars over the years. They decided to send a message.
And the fans saw it. In fact, the only people who didn't seem to see the problem were the ones standing on the court in those shirts. Let's step back for a second and look at the big picture. The WNBA is fighting for higher pay in a league that has yet to turn a profit in its nearly 3 decades of existence. The NBA has been bankrolling it for years, absorbing losses in the hundreds of millions. This isn't breaking news. It's been the reality since day one. Now enter Caitlin Clark, a rookie who didn't just bring a spike in viewership. She brought a tidal wave. TV ratings shot up, ticket sales exploded, merch was flying off shelves. Opposing teams were selling out games purely because Caitlin was in town. She didn't just bring attention to her team, she brought it to the entire league. And somehow, instead of welcoming her with open arms, some veterans decided the best move was to give her the cold shoulder, literally and figuratively. It's almost impressive in its short-sightedness.
WNBA players, they get more unlikable every day. And the blatant jealousy, the blatant hatred towards Caitlin Clark is...
Because make no mistake, Caitlin's arrival is the single biggest marketing opportunity the WNBA has had in years. We're talking about a player who can make casual sports fans tune in to watch Indiana Fever games in July, who can get national media outlets covering regular season matchups like their playoff games, who can draw in people who previously couldn't name 2 WNBA teams if their lives depended on it. That kind of star power is priceless. And yet, here we are, watching the league's own players try to chip away at it because they don't like how fast it happened or who it happened to. And that's where the hypocrisy really stings. We've heard for years about how women's sports need more coverage, more promotion, more respect. And when a player finally arrives who can deliver all 3, the reaction from some corners is to ice her out, to try to cut her down a peg, to act like she's somehow unworthy of the attention she's getting? It's absurd. And that "you have to earn it" mantra doesn't hold water here. Caitlyn has earned it, not by tenure, but by results, by putting butts in seats, by making people care, by making the league impossible to ignore.
Try to hide it. We got Kelsey Plum talking about these pathetic shirts that they wore out onto the court. And I'm going to tell you, these players all put these shirts on.
That's the goal, isn't it? Or is it only the goal when the spotlight lands on the right people? And let's talk about the irony of using the "pay us what you owe us" platform to take a shot at Caitlyn. Because guess what? If anyone's making it more likely you'll get paid what you're asking for, it's her. She's the one driving the numbers you're going to wave around in those CBA meetings. She's the reason those shirts even have a fighting chance of being more than a symbolic gesture. Yet here we are, watching a player who should be the poster child for the league's growth get treated like an uninvited guest at the dinner table. It's not just petty, it's counterproductive. And it's not just about Caitlyn's feelings or ego. This is about the business of the league. Every successful sports league in the world has its stars, and those stars get treated like assets, not adversaries. The NBA didn't blow up by treating Michael Jordan like just another guy.
Last one on this, because the WNBA pay debate has become such a hot button topic. But let's break down the WNBA CBA negotiations and the players' shirts that say "pay us what you owe us" to the simplest form. I think
the NFL didn't grow by pretending Tom Brady was interchangeable with a practice squad QB. Serena Williams didn't transform tennis by apologizing for winning too much. Stars are nurtured, protected, promoted. You ride the wave they create. You don't try to knock them off the board because you're not comfortable with how big the wave is. Caitlin Clark is the wave. And instead of building surfboards, some people are throwing sand in her face. And the fans notice. Oh, do they notice? That's why every cheap shot, every icy post-game interaction, every passive-aggressive comment just adds to her fan base. Because nothing rallies people like watching their favorite player get picked on for no good reason. And let's be honest, this isn't about Caitlyn being disrespectful, because she hasn't been. She's handled every bit of shade with more composure than most our own.
Negotiations, both sides take their positions and hold them until there is a deadline. And I don't believe either side in this discussion would really want to see a lockout, right? They wouldn't want to see a lockout.